Awesome.
Hi, everyone. This is Brad from Tailwind Transportation Software. And today I have the good fortune of speaking with Ryan Jones, President of NuAge Logistics, about their experience with the Tailwind TMS. Hi, Ryan. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Yeah, no problem, Brad. Nice to chat with you here.
Right. So, Ryan, tell me a little bit about NuAge Logistics.
Sure. So NuAge, I'm Ryan. Brad, thanks for the introduction. President, founder of NuAge Logistics. Young, dynamic freight brokerage out of Montreal. We carved our niche a couple of years ago. We got started, but we were providing kind of like the best solution you could find for demanding box store deliveries. That was really like our first specialty that we really started with. So Walmart Canada, Walmart USA, Costco, UNFI, Keys, on-time deliveries is everything. If you don't make it there on time, you're getting huge fines, and you couldn't beat our dependability and our accountability on those types of shipments. Since then, we've really been focusing on the food sector. We do dry, we do refrigerated freight. We're heavily involved in that. But we do have quite a strong presence in over-dimensional open deck freight. Lately, we've seen a big boom in drayage as well, given the climate. So we've been working a lot with a lot of our drayage partners, and obviously our standard dry goods is what we do day in, day out. So cross-border, domestics where we really specialize, but we do service Mexico, which has been there's definitely challenges with the Mexico market and making sure your insurances and the carriers you source are up to date. I actually have another interview with FreightWaves to talk about Mexico insurance and how we're handling all that. So it's been a challenge. It's been fun, but we definitely service Mexico as part of our kind of service offering. We just treat our employees well. They're well compensated. It's a tough market. It's a tough financial market these days. Post-COVID, we make sure everyone is whole. And we give them a flexible, enjoyable working environment. So, we realized it was a lot easier to grow our business if we didn't have to worry about our employees, happiness and not being motivated. So everyone's well taken care of, and it allows us to just focus on our growth, and our employees keep holding it down day in, day out. So that's how we're able to kind of tie it all together.
Nice. That's really good to hear. And how long have you been using Tailwind for?
So Tailwind, well, I guess it's two parts. We started looking for a kind of all-encompassing TMS, probably beginning of 2020, maybe late 2019. We did our due diligence. We looked at all our major players. We did our business case for what's out there and what really fit our size, because at the time we were smaller. We came up with our agreement with Tailwind. I think we started in June 2020. And it took about 6 months to get all of our ducks in a row, mainly our fault, not Tailwind's fault, in making sure our data was properly imported, because we had done everything off homegrown systems before. So making sure that we did the data import properly, making sure we kept our stuff clean. It took a bit of time, but for us, it was worth every day spent on it. And we went live with our full book of business in Tailwind, I think, come November or December 2020. So it's been just about a full year of full-time operations in Tailwind.
And when you were making the decisions around which TMS to go with, what made you decide to try Tailwind?
So, it was an interesting time. It was 2020. So, COVID was everywhere. It was a big, big part of our lives. So one of the reasons that we wanted a kind of Tailwind-esque solution was the flexibility and web-based nature of it. So for us, I guess if I rewind a little bit, my background is in medical imaging. So before we started NuAge here, I was actually years and years ago, I worked as a medical imaging sales and specialist for radiology. And part of that, and part of what I was involved with, was moving hospital networks, teleradiology clinics, and hospital networks and ambulatory clinics, from their kind of old, more archaic systems to our new cloud-based infrastructure. And so moving in an industry like radiology, there's so many HIPAA compliance concerns with all the patient safety and patient information, patient data. Anytime anyone mentions cloud, everyone gets like the heebie-jeebies about like their data security. But as someone who was quite well versed in that space, it was such a shocking difference when you go on site and you see some of the places that they have their servers in like a broom closet. There's like a mop bucket leaning on their servers, and like these are the same types of practices that we're concerned about their data safety in, data centers that are like, you should see some of the security measures and certifications that these sites have. So for me, I wasn't worried about that, and I know that there was a space in the transport industry to make sure that, like, hey, we'll come in, and there's no way I want to be spinning up our servers, managing our own infrastructure. It doesn't make sense, we're in the freight business. I'm not a systems architect. I'm not an engineer, and I know that there's people that can do it a hell of a lot better than I can. So that was why we specialized in, or we decided to go and try Tailwind, was the cloud-based, web-based kind of nature of it. And with COVID, everyone wanted to work from home, and there was a huge disruption of some of the old time players in the space that couldn't have their employees working from home because they weren't set up for it. So for us, it checked all the boxes, and it allows, like I said earlier, just to keep our employees having a healthy work-life balance. You don't need to be at the office to do your job in full, and Tailwind's the main reason why we're able to provide that to our employees.
Fantastic. That's really good to hear. And what would you say has really changed for NuAge between when you first started using Tailwind and now?
We started everything on homegrown systems. I was dangerous enough in Excel to get by, and we actually built some pretty complex Excel sheets and macros, and we used that for a while, but you can't scale that. So as soon as we started getting more and more hands in the pot, I said, okay, we got to stop this. And that's when we really hit the ground hard for finding a TMS that checked all the boxes. What changed for us is, well, I'm a lot more comfortable and I sleep better at night knowing that I don't have our system set up on Excel. So that really makes me a lot happier. But scalability, scalability is key. It's everything. So, you can devise a system, but if you can't grow it, it's not sustainable. It's going to just stay where it is. So finding a system that we could make sure we're set up properly out the gate. Our information is clean, our data is clean and well maintained. And then now it's super easy for us to just plug in new employees as we grow. We don't have to worry about all the other question marks that we had before. So Tailwind was able to keep up with our growth. I think last year to this year, we're up almost 250 to 300% in revenue. So it's been a very, very busy year for us, and Tailwind has not broken a sweat in making sure that they were able to keep us fueled as we kept growing. So yeah, that's really what's changed the most, is just the scalability of the solution, the data security of the solution, it all being cloud-based and managed by professionals. It's been great, honestly.
That's fantastic, and I'm really glad to hear about that growth for you as well. 300%. That's huge.
Yeah, it's been a tough market. There's no doubt about that. Been facing a lot of challenges, especially these days with the ports and the congestion we're seeing. But yeah, it's been unprecedented this year, and we've hired a lot to take on that new business and keep growing. And our client retention's second to none. I don't think we've lost a client since we started 4 years ago. So everyone we get on and bring on stays with us. And we grow through new sales, but we also grow just by our service offering to our existing clients and facilitating their growth. So it's two-way win on that aspect.
Fantastic. And are there any specific kind of features that you'd say within Tailwind that you find most useful?
Yeah, the whole solution's pretty slick. It's got really easy to navigate menus, submenus, and so it does everything well. The standard stuff, the BOLs, POD importing, tracking and tracing's done super well. Tailwind's been really great pushing out different iterations and improvements. So we're able to see new features come in real time, and as we need things, like I think the shipment tab has been really key for us. So that was a big help. For me personally, I love the QuickBooks syncing functionality. So we do all of our back office stuff in Tailwind as well. So all our invoicing, obviously it's super connected and streamlined out of Tailwind, and we're able to push everything over at the click of a button to QuickBooks. So for me, I was always concerned, well, how are we going to integrate both our, financial reporting and our TMS? And that little functionality has really been wonderful for us. So that's been nice. And maybe something that's a little outside the box, but the support has been super. So, instead of having to put a ticket in and waiting 2 days for a response, we're able to get our issue solved within 2 minutes. The on-demand live support, these people are experts. They know the software in and out, and they solve our problems within minutes. So that to me has been very, very important. We just set up a client. Client's been good. So just with a few emails, a few clicks of some keys, and we're able to get up fully EDI compliant, and we're connected with ClientSchmidt, who are been doing that for decades and decades. And just having on-demand access to these experts has been really something that I'm not used to seeing. So it's been nice. It's been nice to have.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Well, I know we could get into more, but I want to be respectful of your and our viewers' time. So I'll start, wrapping this up. So just thank you again, Ryan, for talking to us about your experience with Tailwind. And on behalf of all of us here, we wish you and NuAge continued success. Thank you again.
Thanks, Brad. Appreciate it.